find that you are standing in the middle of an unfamiliar room. The chamber is a square of roughly several hundred feet. Massive gears, cogs, and oversized machinery is piled and dominating in those areas that you see represented by a translucent Lego brick in the form of those wheels in that large toothed gear. Staring away from the area of the room, and you can see quite far, given the fact that most of the walls within this structure have collapsed in on themselves long ago, you can see other chambers, quite large chambers, which as well are filled with detritus, huge chunks of masonry. You can see staring off to the general left, to the Hearthguard's left, huge, dark, fallen supports that indicate, just as Boris suggested, that by now much of the place is likely collapsed in on itself. Searching the roof, you do not find one. What you find instead are struts jutting forward like the fingers of mortised corpses, more or less supporting chainwork or beams in such a way that their final gift, the huge wheels, cogs, and other such, that once likely dominated the heart of this mill, now dangle like some sort of terrible ornaments from within, binding them in place. You find as well that a thick length of chain has been wrapped about the body of the Hearthguardsman. His hand and staff are still planted. The chain is rather snug about its frame as the Hearthguard begins to ascertain the area about itself. And it is then that you hear a voice. Yes. Oh, very good. Yes, good. Yes, fine. I am glad to... Oh, see, that's the thing. People love an underdog. So Andy was, of course, the only logical choice. His eyes are twin silvery white platters. There is a pistol of some alien make in one of his gauntleted hands, for they do have, he's wearing some sort of metallic segmented gloves. In his opposite hand, he is in fact holding a thin can, not unlike a soda beverage container, more so than a small cup. But in all ways, the miniature should be considered totemic and appropriate of this man's appearance. He stares you up and down with his glassy eyes. You are not alone. You are not monsters. They are the monsters. At which point, the Hearthguard says something. You are known by the Pendril Order. You call yourself the Voice of Ultron. Yes, I've got no strings on me. He walks forward and stands between the gears. You must understand something, President. Lincoln needs to be able to count on you. Your vote will serve your supporters well, and we will work to ensure that your constituents find you at favor. You will be owed a favor by the President of these United States. What are you going to do? He's skulking about. Continue to hear him out, I assume.
So, we have chains around us?
Yes.
Try to start working on the chains to see how tight
Dot,
they
dot,
are.
dot, dot, dot. You begin to work the chains low and find that they're actually quite tight. Do not struggle. It is all eventuality. A simple acquisition merger. Jack the Ripper served the will of kings. Kings, I say. He paces over and turns. It would be an honorable thing to... I don't know. I liked the old recipe better. He stares down at the can in his hand. I don't know why they removed the taste of penis. He walks back toward back toward the cogs, and then spins about. Can I count on your support, Senator?
Very.
Searches your
Well,
mask as if looking for
there was some
something.
recognition over here, and in some of those statements. You want to share?
Well, he mentioned the river and Jack the Ripper. I personally don't like Jack the Ripper.
Well, I find it aware of Jack the Ripper. I was hoping there was some more significance.
don't like Jack the
Hooker killer, but
I think that's a fine war council.
Sorry.
Here's what I know.
I am up on.
I'm not a Jack Ripper fan.
I do like Lincoln. Richard Lincoln.
Yes, and I assume
The recognition did come exactly at the moment he said that his drink no longer tasted like penis.
I chose you for this job because you are the best man for the job. The man is like a mentor to me. Everything I know about law. He goes and strides back toward the gear.
Yeah, he's obviously out of his mind. He's not making a whole lot of sense. I mean, we could just easily agree with him. Yeah, sure, you got our support. And see where that
He spins as though he has something very impressive and important to say. No, I am not your father. He then lifts his beverage can to his lips and takes a long drink.
So, did he have to shunt himself out for this to happen? Wasn't that what you're like?
There was no shunting.
No?
You came back and everything's back to normal, except you have a new friend in the middle of this ruined factory chamber.
So we might not still be in that area. The
Yeah, we
factory.
got moved. Maybe
Yeah.
potentially.
You're a quiet one. I never trust the quiet ones. I'm planning on taking my substantial severance package and mentoring a series of teenage European school-age girls and teaching them and mentoring them and coaching them in the way of gymnastics.
I think we'd be able to talk
I'm
a little
gonna
bit more if you took
really
off
attempt
our,
to break the chains. Like, actually.
Percentile check!
53!
53! The chain! You can feel the links starting to warp and distend, but you're not quite strong enough.
Can I use a point to...
You most certainly can. And that is all it took for the chains to explode apart like shrapnel. No! He takes a few fretful steps backward, levying the gun off at you. You don't understand. You are to be my golden creation to them all. They would come before you, and then they would be destroyed by the face of their savior. All of you, roll for initiative.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't suppose it's too late for an apology. He levels off the gun and squeezes off a shot. Anyone like to make a dodge action, given the fact that he's acting first? Someone can sacrifice their turn to make a dodge. Oh, ho, ho, blast! Go make a dodge if you wish. That's how we like it. Not only do you manage to throw yourself aside, the energy blast arcing off into the shadows of the place. You hear the explosion of metal and stone somewhere close by. But it also has succeeded critically, which means, Mike, you can now make a bonus action on your regular initiative.
Great.
Continuing with his actions, he takes a few steps backward and cries out, "You must understand, I am the CEO of this corporation." At which point the entire room begins to shake, rock dust falling from above. With that, we will turn to young Master Peter. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna use our Ember Flame out of the hand and try to knock the gun out of his hand.
Ah, trying to disarm a man. Very good. He fires a bolt of burning green energy from his outstretched palm.
And we're looking at a 16.
And a 16 will indeed strike his weapon. Those aren't dice I just rolled. I'm glad we have that on tape. Now, that inspires me. I will tell you and our audience, our broadcast audience, a little story. Recently, when I was playing a game of Talisman, I reached down for a handful of potato chips and picked up instead the circular cardboard dragon counters that are used to play the game. They keep in a large bowl, and threw them into my mouth. So, no matter what slick professional attitude I may try to carry out at this here table, I'm still the stoned idiot who tried to eat cardboard carrots. Oh, the blast strikes the gun well. It snaps from his grasp and somewhere out into the shadows. God, there was no need for that. With that, we'll turn next to the lovely and talented Mr. Mike, who will get a turn this round.
I'm going to use the blast to actually hit him, his person.
Oh, very good.
Assist.
Well, very good. Roll again.
Explodes.
52.
52. The guardsman spins, focuses, and fires 2 blasts at the man. He can make a dodge. He has the ability to do so even after he's taken actions such as these. And he dodges out of the way of the first, 2, at which point he is struck by the second and silenced. Gah! He is knocked against a large crate and falls to the ground prone. He's holding his sides. Why was I programmed to feel pain? With that, we will turn next to Master Rich. A blue slime is drooling out from beneath his arm, as if to suggest that those are vitals leaking from him. What are you going to do?
I want to take his cup.
You walk over at him. Try to wrestle the cup from him. Penis! Roll.
It's 29.
Well, I have news. You have managed to pull the little silver cylinder from his grasp. You can feel surprisingly heavy, and an orange, thin orange slurry is bubbling out of an aperture in the can, as well as the beverage hole. Good. I don't like the new recipe. He's working to get back to his feet. With that, we'll turn to young Master Maori. What are you going to do?
I'm going to attempt to use the pendule essence to kind of trap him there.
Give me something more specific. What
Like to
sort of
hold him down.
external okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's enough. Something to pin him to the
Yeah.
Go ahead.
66.
You hold your staff over him, and all of you can see that a translucent image begins to form across the arms and chest of your fallen friend. It rather looks like an oversized staple, a U shape of 3D projected light, green light, of course, burning slightly. And it almost immediately begins to fade, suggesting the power did not operate properly. If no one else is taking an action, which they cannot, it fails. He actually exerts what strength he has, throwing his goo-slimed arm away from himself, knocking the image away.
Would that be a different application of the energy?
That would indeed be the
Okay.
case. So, with that, he knocks that away. He forces himself to get through the pain of that gut shot, pulls himself up into a crouched position, and smiles evilly. For the first time, he doesn't seem distracted and fully out of his gourd. He seems like something he's put into play is doing what it's supposed to do. As if to echo that, fresh stone dust in a breaking of wood sounds as into the chamber from the shattered room above fall 4 humanoid shapes. Each of the things stands as nearly as tall as you do. They are all identical. silvery metal, formed and shaped into the likeness of men, each one of which wears a shell of some manner of ceramic plating protecting their chests. Their faces, almost comically so, have been wrought as if to suggest human features. Their beady red eyes are focused upon your back.